thank you all for tuning in to another ice cold discussion, man. We're gonna be doing these on a regular, man. Tighten up the fellas, and also give the ladies some insight, man. On how to move out here, man, and how to clean yourself up out here in the dating market, man. Because unfortunately, man, it's been very, very, not pleasant, very unpleasant. You got a lot of men suffering, from taking shots to the ego because these women are very standoffish. They got attitudes. They stuck up. And although some of us fellas know how to deal with them, because we understand that you can't take these women too personal, right? At least not upon meeting them. You got to take them all as recreation upon meeting them. And I'm not saying you can't build with a woman once you get to know her. Once y'all get to going out on dates and getting to talking over the phone and spending time together. I'm not saying y'all can't, it's impossible for y'all to build a genuine connection. But what I want the fellas to understand, what I want all you fellas to understand, man, and I mean this, right? And I want you to listen careful and hear me clearly when I say this, right? Never, I don't care how attractive a woman is, or how attractive you think she is, or how much potential you think she might have, right? Never attach value to a woman that she hasn't earned. If she haven't earned, any sort of value by showing you that she's worthy of being kept or worthy of your respect, worthy of chivalry, do not attach that value. See, because one thing, fellas, a lot of men have a problem with doing is you meet a woman, right? She's very classy, and a lot of times we meet these women on a night out, right? When they're out with the girls, they got their best outfit on, they got their high heel shoes on, right? And we get to see them through a classy lens, right? But understand, looks can be deceiving, and most of the times it is, right? Most of the times, a woman will deceive you through her appearance. That's just the way it is, unfortunately. That's why you gotta vet these women properly, man. Because where a lot of us men get stuck at is we meet a woman, she's out, she's classy. A lot of us, we doubt whether we can even, get the number, or we hesitate to make the approach. And a lot of times we muster up the confidence to make the approach, and we actually end up having a successful outcome. And just the fact that we got the number, after we done attached so much potential to this woman already because how we seen her, because how classy she looked, just by her outfit and her makeup being nice and all that, right? We got a problem with attaching a certain amount of value. Not all men, but a lot of men, right? To the point where that alone make us second guess even approaching a woman, because we're not sure whether we're going to get the number, and no man likes being rejected, right? We talked about that in the last video, mastering the art of rejection. Once you master the art of rejection, there's nothing else, that can stop you. Sky's the limit from there. Once you master the art of rejection, you know, all she could say is no. All she could say is no. You know, but that's neither here nor there. You know, we touched on that topic already. Y'all can go over and check out that video. You know, I'll be dropping a link on that video so that you can go check that one out. But yeah, man, you attach value to a woman upon meeting her, and you already put her up here before you even made the approach, and that did something to you subconsciously. So now you get the number, and that's just the first part, right? Now, since you done attached value to the woman just through her appearance before even approaching her, now it's almost like it becomes an uphill battle just to get to the next step and the next step and the next step, because now you see her up here. So when you first make that first phone call to talk to her, you know, you're skeptical about what to say. You know, it's hard for you to be yourself. You understand what I'm saying? It's hard for you to be yourself. That's why I say it is very detrimental to yourself and to your ego, you know, to your manhood, to be attaching value to a woman that she haven't earned. You know, because it does nothing but give her leverage. Mentally, it gives her leverage over you. You know, and that is very, very detrimental, man, when dating. You know, because like I said, it starts with you attaching that value before meeting, and then you get the number, and then you make the first phone call, and that's the next hurdle you gotta, you know, you hoping that you can, you know, that's the next hurdle that you hoping that you could leap over, that you hoping that you could conquer, right? Keeping her intrigued, you know, keeping her interested, right? Because you, like I said, you already put her up here. You already put yourself subconsciously in a space where you feel like you're in many ways not good enough. Understand how detrimental that is, man, right? So now it becomes uphill battle where from the first phone call, if you so happen to keep her intrigued, right, and you're successful in taking her out on the first date, and it really sounds funny, me saying if you're successful taking her out, because it should really be the other way around. It should be if she's successful in getting you to take her out, right? Because most masculine men, that ain't going for that shit, you know, that stand in their masculine frame. A lot of these women know that they really have to fight for a spot and you know, fight for their respect with certain individuals, with certain men, right? It's all in the frame, man. It's all in how you show up. It's all in how, you know, your aura, you know, how you talking, your confidence. They can smell it. They can, man, listen, these women are bloodhounds, man. They can feel everything, man. You know, you think you're getting numbers, they getting upwards of 10 or more numbers a day. Understand that. If she look good, this woman she's probably a pro at dealing with men. She's probably a pro. She know all the little psychological tricks, you know, to control your mind. And if you're just a genuine man who just looking for, you know, a nice woman, right? Probably out, you know, not too far out of a relationship. You probably just got out of a long relationship, and you know, you've been on your healing journey for a little bit, and now you're ready to get back out into the dating market, and it's almost like you're brand new, right? So many years in the past, and it's like you're brand new, right? You're green, as they like to say, you know, you're green, right? And you don't understand all the terms that these women exercise on men, and a lot of times they use these strategies on every man that they meet because they are so used to meeting so many men and having to entertain a whole roster of men on a regular, right? So they're dealing with many different personalities, and they, the man that they actually like, he's a fuckboy, right? And her games don't work. Their games usually don't work on a man who they are really interested in. So as they chase him, they need you to boost their confidence. So they keep you if you're not the guy that they want. You know, if you are not the first option, she is using you to boost her ego while she chases the first option. Because the first option is usually stoic. You know, he's usually in his masculine frame, right? He's not hesitant. You know, he's not shy. He's not scared to say what's on his mind. And unfortunately, women like a man who, is kind of disrespectful in a way. Who says what's on his mind, and who's not afraid if she's offended by it, and if she never call again, right? That's kind of how you gotta be with these women, man. I hate to say it that way, but that's kind of like, you gotta be, you gotta have tough skin. You can't worry about whether she's gonna call, whether she's gonna ghost you and shit like that, because that is you, giving her value that is gonna work against you, right? You are giving her power when you show her that you care about her walking away, by something that you might have said. Or that's why I say you just gotta be yourself, man. Because these women, they're gonna play games either way. They're gonna play games, man. And a lot of us men, man, although so many of us men play the game, we also play the narcissistic games, and you got some good women out here who are going through the same thing, man, and vice versa. They going through the same thing, man, with some of these men, some of these narcissistic men, right? That's why I don't like to just, get on one gender when it comes to this type of topic, because this is not a gender thing, man. This is real life. This is real life fuckery, man. That we're dealing with. It's not like it was in the past, man. Everything that was looked down upon in the past is now pedestalized. Think about it. 304s pedestalized. They made that a trend. Being a hoe, that's a trend now. When the last time you heard of an R&B song? R&B music. You hear it now. But it's not like it used to be. It's nothing like it used to be. And music has a very, very heavy influence on the mind, and on society as a whole, right? So the music back in the day, Keith Sweat, the R. Kellys, even the Ushers and the Chris Browns, we still got some of that today, right? But it's not like it used to be, where we used to pedestalize those love songs. And love was different back then. Nowadays, everybody's fighting for love. But not too many people is actually experiencing true love. And the music has so much to do with that. All you hear is spin that shit. Spin that shit. Where my scammers at? Spin that shit. You know what I'm saying? So we unfortunately, man, the world is evolving, man. At least here in the West, we kind of fucked up, man, and unfortunately, this is what we have to deal with, But, as a man, I don't give a fuck how hard it get. You got the whole frame. You have the whole frame. Don't lose yourself, man. Do not lose yourself. You're gonna have women who, like I said, these women, if they are attractive, they're dealing with many different personalities of men, and they're playing games with most of them, right? They're playing games with most of them. They're breadcrumbing them, leading them on to, they got men in their phones under different, how do I want to put it? They got men in their phone for different things. This guy Tyrone, he got money, so and he always asking me out. And he got a nice car, and he like to take me out to expensive restaurants. So she might let him flex and take her out, right? And she may or may not, throw in the box, right? But these women, they have different dues for different things. They got the other guy, David or whoever, right? For emotional support, for emotional support, because they know he shows up. He knows the right things to say when they're feeling down. He's always flooded with compliments. Tyrone never give her compliments. He just hard, but he got paper. You know what I'm saying? Like, but understand, man. These women they put different men in different categories, and these women got multiple men in the friend zone who were just waiting to get a chance to get to that box. And they know that. And they breadcrumb these men. They breadcrumb them. They pop in and out. They use the pocket effect on these men, right? Just to keep hope alive, so that they can use them for whatever they can use them for. They got their own little reasons, or their own little, things that they use these guys for. But these guys are just lingering on their placeholders. And that's what I'm trying to avoid. I'm trying to avoid you becoming a placeholder. You can avoid becoming a placeholder by avoiding, giving a woman value that she hasn't earned. If she haven't earned it, she don't deserve it. Understand, I don't care how beautiful she is, I don't care how the body look, none of that. If she didn't earn the value that you are giving to her, you a goddamn fool, right? And I'm gonna say it just like that because you need to hear it like that. You need to know that you a goddamn fool, but you can fix that. Understand that. You can fix that. It ain't like I'm calling you. It ain't like I'm calling you white, and you can't be black. You can't change that. I ain't calling you black, and you can't be white, So I'm telling you, I'm calling you a fool because you are self-inflicting depression and anxiety onto yourself by, applying value to a woman who haven't deserved, who haven't earned it. Understand that, So if you are one of those men who just listened to this video, who stuck around, right, and you realize, well, goddamn, I'm one of those guys who he's talking about. I feel like I'm a placeholder. You know, if you feel that you are that guy, that you are a placeholder to a woman, I need you to wake up, man. Wake up. You know, because a woman who really likes you, she's not going to make it hard for you. She's not going to pop in and out. She's not going to breadcrumb you. A woman who's really into you, she's going to call you and ask how your day going. You know, you want to get good morning texts, good night. She's going to want to talk to you before she go to bed. This is how you know a woman's interested in you. She wants to hear your voice before she go to bed. She wants you to be the last person she talked to. Understand that. If a woman is not giving certain signs, man, if she's leaving you confused, then you already know. Anything after that is self-inflicted. Understand that. You know, so we gotta tighten up, fellas. You know, we're gonna be continuing these episodes, man. You know, where I'm gonna be popping in and out, man. You know, giving y'all some game, man. These ice cold discussions. You know, but yeah, man. Know your worth, fellas. Know your worth, man. Because if you do not know your worth, if you don't do the work on yourself, see, because a lot of us, we think because, you know, we got a nice job, we got some money, right? We're not a dog, right? We just want love and shit like that. That it's going to be easy to get out here and find that. But once we get out there and get in the field, we start meeting these women, today's women, especially if we old school, man. You know, we out here in the dating market today trying to find somebody to love. It is likely going to be a challenge, an uphill battle. You know, that's why I say be careful applying value to a woman that she haven't earned, because that will lead to you trying to fight to get over the next hurdle. You know, you will be fighting to get her number first, and then you'll be fighting to keep her intrigued to the phone call stage. Then you'll be fighting to keep her intrigued on a date, while you spending your money to take her on a date, right? You're sitting there feeling like you're on an interview because you already attached value to her that she didn't earn. You put yourself down here, and you put her up here. So now you're sitting there in front of her on a date, trying to impress her, trying to keep her interested as you spend your money. How that sound? So many men are out here doing that right now. As I make this video, there's men out there right now sitting in some restaurant, spending their money on their best fucking behavior. As a man, that does something to you, man. That does something to you, man. You know, now being a gentleman is one thing, man. Being respectful and being a gentleman, you know, trying to figure somebody out, trying to see if she's worth your time, you know. But when you go in under, you know, under a weak frame, a woman can see that and she can feel that. And once she figures that you are trying to impress her or keep her intrigued, she will likely, unless this woman really, really like you, right, from the jump, she will play games with you. Because women are very observant, man. They are very observant, and they're always calling and texting their friends. They're always calling and texting their friends. When they step into the bathroom, when they say, I gotta use the bathroom, they're in the bathroom texting their friends or calling their friends. Right? A lot of the time, not all the time, but a lot of these women, you know, they don't have a mind of their own, man. They don't know how to enjoy themselves. That's why they, they're on the Instagrams and the social medias posting all these different, pictures of their kitchen and their house and showing their body, and because they need the validation. And when you're on a date with them and you're on your best behavior and you acting like you don't want to say the wrong thing because you don't want to lose her, that is nothing but validation. You're validating her. You're keeping her up here instead of bringing her down to your level, to where though y'all can communicate like adults without getting offended. And of course, if you're a gentleman, you're automatically going to watch your approach because you don't want to disrespect the woman, right? That's just a given, right? You're already going to do that. But you never want to be in a position where you're spending your fucking money and you feel like you got to be on your best behavior. You got to be on your best behavior because you don't want to lose this woman. She should be thinking, I don't want to lose this man. When it's the other way around, I'm sorry to tell you, you fucked. You fucked. Because the first couple of dates, man, is going to tell her who you are, man. And from there on, the games will begin, or y'all will continue to build genuinely. But those first couple of dates is crucial. Pay attention, fellas. Pay attention to how she's acting on the phone. Pay attention to her text. How long will she take the text back? Do she pop in and out? Do she ghost you for days? Because if she really like you, she's going to check in. You're not going to have to play tug of war, worried about, why she's not texting you back and why she's not texting you first sometime and why she's not calling you first, why I'm always calling and texting her. If you have a situation like that, that woman is questionable. And you need to pay attention. Take your feelings out of the situation and pay attention. And last but not least, man, I wanna close out by saying, if you are a victim of breadcrumbing, a woman is playing with your time, she's leading you on, and she's not giving you the interest, giving you the energy that you're giving, that you're putting out, right? You notice that you've been giving her nothing but genuine energy, but for some reason, she won't say that she don't like you, but she's leaving polluted air in between y'all, where you can't figure out. You're always guessing. You're always wondering whether, is she doing this on purpose or is she just busy? Let me tell you something. A woman who really likes you and is really into you, she would never be too busy for you. Understand that. So if you are a victim right now of a woman who is breadcrumbing you and using a pocket effect on you and using all these different narcissistic tactics on you, and she hasn't contacted you in days, I want you to cut that line, man. Cut that line, man. And this is how I want you to do it. Don't just ignore her altogether. It's the get back. She played petty. Now it's your turn to play petty. And I want you to sit this on her mind, right? Because since you play with your mind so much, you give her something in return. And then you walk away. This is what I want you to do. If a woman has been leaving you on red, your text is on red, not answering your calls, after you took her on dates and shit like that, and she seemed to be interested, or had a good time together, but now she's, for some reason, popping in and out on you, and you just can't figure out what's going on. Why is she doing this? this is what I want you to do. Do not fear losing that woman. She do not want you. If you didn't get the pussy already, chalk it up. Chalk it up. You're likely not going to get it. What's going to happen is you're going to end up spending more and more of your money, your hard-earned money, and she's going to continue to play these games. So what I want you to do is, if she hasn't called or texted you in a few days and you're puzzled at this moment, I want you to send her a text, right? Late at night, right? Send her a text. This is how you fuck with her. Send her a text, right? And say, damn, that's crazy. I heard something real crazy about you. You know, something to that effect. You know, I want you to text her, damn, that's wild. I heard something crazy about you. Right? And watch how fast she's either going to text you back or she's going to call your phone within the first couple minutes. Try it. It works every time. Like a charm. Trust me. These women, they play games, but they can't take the games when it's played back on them. So I want you to send that woman that text tonight, right? Because I'm gonna help you close this shit out and get your sanity back, man, and get back to what you love to do, man, the things that make you happy, and get this demon out of your mind and out of your life and out of your world, because she's gonna destroy you, right? Send that text tonight, man. And when she texts or call back, I want you to ignore her. Ignore her. Leave her on red, right? And then go to sleep. And it might not be easy for you to get to sleep, you know, because you might really like this girl. But you gotta get over this shit. Closure, right? I know it's some petty shit, man, but sometimes, man, when women play these games, man, they deserve this type of shit. It ain't gonna hurt her. It might hurt her feelings, you know. It ain't even gonna hurt her feelings. It's just gonna fuck with her mind. You heard something about her, right? They hate to hear some shit like that, and then they can't contact you now. Now the ball is in your court. Now in the morning time, when you wake up, you want to text her back, you know, because she's likely going to ask you what you talking about or what you heard about me or something to that effect. And then you want to text her back, never mind, don't worry about it. I ain't even worried about it. I ain't even worried about it. Right? Or it ain't that deep. I don't want to look at you different. I don't want to see you different. Or something to that effect, right? And after that, block her number. Block her number. So when she try to call you, she will see, damn, he blocked me. After he did all this chasing, I played these games on for so long, he just cut me off. Just like that, he cut me off. I didn't get a chance to ghost him. He cut me off. And damn, I wonder what the fuck was he talking about? What did he hear about me? Was it on Instagram? Somebody hating on me? One of these bitches talking about me? Cause when they get in their head, boy, I tell you, man, they their own worst enemy. They get to hating every fucking body because they don't know who, what, where. What is this man talking about? He heard what? And then she start thinking of all the nasty, trifling shit that she did that you ain't supposed to know about. And she's gonna think that you know about one of those things when you don't know shit at all. You just know some shit that I told you to do. Anyway, man, I'd like to thank you all for tuning in, man, to yet another ice cold discussion, man. It was nice kicking it with y'all, man. You know what I mean? Until next time, man. Y'all stay up.
No, I'm not saying
Speak
that.
on it, sis. Speak on it.
What I'm saying is chivalry is dead. You know what I'm saying? I was talking to a guy for 5 months, and this guy up and told me he was going to send me money for food one day. He sends me $200.
Oh, hell no.
What am I supposed to get with that? Bubble gum?
Some
Bubble gum?
gum.
You know what I'm saying? My grandpa would never. If my grandma said she was hungry, my grandpa, he would have sent like $10,000.
Right,
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying?
Yep.
If the cash app was out there back then.
Yeah.
But my grandpa would give her cash in hand, $10,000. You know what I'm saying? So I don't even understand where these new age people, they don't want to spend no money and they want to say like, oh, she's so expensive.
Say.
But the world is expensive.
It is.
The world
The world
is expensive.
is expensive.
You know what I'm saying?